brought me out with Michelle. I've made loads of friends. We're just like family here, and I love everybody.
And I've made loads of lovely friends and feel so much better for it.
And then I met little people from the group and it made a difference to my life.
It's been a funny adventure, Cohort 4. I was the founder some 12 years ago, and I came out of a 30-year public service career in policing, in probation, supporting community members who had disadvantage, who had experienced trauma and abuse. And I recognised that loneliness and isolation was one of the key critical factors when it came to suicide, failure to thrive, not recovering from trauma. And I sat there one day and I thought, I'm going to set up an organisation that resolves that, particularly for women who had survived domestic and sexual violence, for women who'd been criminalised, who were struggling financially, struggling with insecure accommodation, with addictions, and all of the disabilities, mental health and physical, that women can and do experience as a result of trauma and domestic abuse.
So when I first became a director of Cohort 4 9 years ago, we were quite a small organisation, and we really just ran only one or two groups and had a very small group of volunteers, and that's how we really ran in the early days.
I used to be a member of Sir Optimist International of Tamworth, and Beverly Gilbert came along one evening to talk about Cohort 4. None of us had ever heard of them. In my past life, I had been a victim of domestic violence, and when Beverly was telling us about the group and the aims, what she was hoping, what she does provide, what the group does provide for everybody, it really made me think that I would like to be involved.
A turning point for me in Cohort 4 was the approach of COVID. We'd lost a couple of women just before COVID-19. One died from suicide, which personally knocked me for six. And another died through alcohol use and the resultant physical issues that she experienced. And that knocked us all for six. And when COVID-19 came, our women group members said, I can't take this. I can't. And the first lockdown, we had 5 serious self-harm incidents within the first week or so. We got together as a group of directors and said we're going to go 7 days a week. And that's when Maria was employed as a mental health practitioner in the year 2000.
So yeah, I joined Cohort 4. I came across Cohort 4 about 8 years ago when I was supporting a lady to probation in Eton, and met with Beverly and a couple of more directors, and then they asked me to actually be a director myself. That then led on to me linking a lot of ladies into Cohort 4, and then the group started to grow.
So I was first invited to visit Cohort 4 during my time as Member of Parliament for the area, and I was absolutely blown away by the visit. It had such a profound effect on me.
I came on board, Julia came on board, our volunteers came on board, and what we did is set up a series of interventions, sessions, hand-holding, caring, from morning till late at night, supporting women who mostly were older in age, mostly had disabilities, mostly survived trauma, and mostly were living on their own. And that was a turning point that made me appreciate just how vital the organisation Cohort 4 was for our group members. And that's what changed us.
So when we talk about the sessions that we do during the week, Start with our men's breakfast group on a Monday morning, where they get a free breakfast. There's 14 men come together, just a social chat, laugh, mainly men that are isolated, living on their own. Yeah, and that's been going for several years now. We also run on a Monday creativity group. We tend to work on projects, mainly linking in with some of the organisations and events that are going on in Atherstone. So we've recently been working on the bunting project for the big weekend next year. So everyone gets together, sharing their skills and helping each other, even if it's threading a needle or whatever, but it's all about the ladies sharing skills and helping each other and having a giggle at the same time. So every Tuesday we meet as a walking group. We can cover anything from, we normally do between 6 and 10 miles, but it depends who's actually in the group on the day, so we may do 4 miles. We cover all parts of Atherstone, but we also go out of town as well. It's all about coming together, walking and talking, having a giggle, being outside, meeting people along the way, especially down the canal. And yeah, it's just great to see the ladies chatting as we're walking. So this is our Wellbeing Wednesday at Ruby's Yard. We've been coming here now for 4 years and 6 months of the year. It's just great being outdoors by the canal, being able to watch the cygnets grow, for lots of cygnets over that time, so we normally share our lunch with the cygnets. But it's all about being outdoors. It's not just for physical health, it's for mental health as well, so we do a lot of mindfulness and grounding techniques while we're here. And also we do some hands-on activities which we're doing today. Some of our projects you will see that we've done this summer, and yeah, we'll be definitely coming back next year because it's just a really lovely place for your well-being.
My involvement with Cohort 4 has really always been with the lunch group, which started on a Thursday. There were probably only up to about a dozen ladies would attend that at the most. And now we can cater for up to 20, 25. It's always a fun event. The ladies don't really know what they're going to have to eat for their lunch. It is provided on quite a tight budget, but we can stretch anything.
It's not just about the ladies coming together for a free lunch, which we have great volunteers and they do some great food. We do some self-esteem activities, we play bingo, we have quizzes sometimes. But again, it's them just coming together socially so they can just get out of their home environments and come together and have a chat and a giggle. We also had a visit from the Deputy Mayor, which was lovely, Davina. And also we had a visit from Becky, the Commissioner, so it was great for the ladies to actually meet them both, and some of the ladies actually spoke about their journey at Cohort 4, which was really lovely.
I think one of the things that I found really challenging is that, you know, when you watch videos like this or when you go and visit organisations, you might see somebody at the start of the journey or at the end of the journey, but what you don't actually see is what has happened to them in between. And that, as I say, has had such a profound effect on me, the work that's done at Cohort 4.
So obviously I see the journeys from A to B with the ladies, so I'm first point of contact and meet them before they come to the Cohort 4 groups, and then it's lovely to support them and see their journey, and seeing them come to group independently, sitting, chatting with the other ladies, having giggles. It's lots of giggles all the time, and that's what it's all about, and it helps my confidence and self-esteem as well, and it's just lovely to be part of such a lovely group.
One of the biggest milestones that when I've been involved with Cohort 4 was in 2020, and it was post-COVID. It was a difficult time, but we were honoured to receive the Queen's Award for voluntary service. The actual ceremony had to be held outside because of all the restrictions from COVID, so that was a bit difficult. The award was given to us by the Lord Lieutenant Tim Cox at the time. There was a really big party of us went, and it was a fantastic time and an amazing achievement for Cohort 4.
All of us as directors, not just our volunteers and the women that come to the groups, but we've all got our own shared experience of mental health or disability or surviving trauma. And I think even for me as a director, Cohort 4 has really helped me in many ways. It's definitely helped improve my confidence. It's made me feel that I can do things with my life that I felt before I wouldn't have been able to. And Cohort 4 has been there for me at times when I've really been struggling. So after my son was born, I did struggle with postnatal depression, but knowing that there were other women there who I could reach out to and talk to, who would understand how I was feeling and what I was going through, it meant a lot, and it really helped me to get through a difficult time. I feel so much better for having that support and knowing that it was there for me. So I think that I'm only just one person that Cohort 4 has helped, but I know that there's so many more women that will tell their stories as well in terms of the impact that that's made.
We got grant funding to develop from the lottery, from the government, not from the local area, interestingly. And we've managed to sustain Cohort 4 now into our 12th year, largely thanks to the National Lottery, who've really seen our worth, who've heard the voice of our women and have thought that this is worth sustaining in the community.
You'll hear a lot about the great work that the organisation does, and that it does it on a really tight budget and working with volunteers. But I think the real travesty here is that from the last data we have from 2021, £4.1 billion in charitable funding was given out, but only 1.8% of that went to women-specific charities, and that amount's probably dropped since then.
So myself and Beverly went down to London, and we trained as accredited domestic abuse, stalking and honour-based violence risk assessment trainers with Laura Richards, who was the person that created this risk assessment, which is used across the police and social services in the UK. So we've trained lots of different organisations across the UK and also abroad in Malta on how to effectively support survivors and victims of domestic abuse. We also have peer mentoring training, because peer mentoring is effectively what we do at Cohort 4. We've developed our technique and our approach, and go and train other organisations how to do that. And that's a very popular training that we get asked to deliver.
One episode that will always be with me was seeing a lady standing at the doors. She wanted to come into the group. She'd heard about us, she'd been referred probably. She stood at the door and just couldn't come in. I walked down, had a little chat with her. She came in, she's now a really active member of the group, and she doesn't have any problem now walking into the group. She just walks in on her own, and that will always stick with me.
So for me, to try and sum up Cohort 4, I think although we've grown, a lot of what it is has always been there. It's a feeling of warmth and acceptance. Come into a place that's inclusive, where you know that no one's going to judge you and people will appreciate and celebrate you for who you are.
So we all at Cohort 4 are a massive family. We like to call ourselves sisters. We just all come together and support each other, whether you're staff, volunteers or the ladies. We're just one big family.
Such a huge privilege for me to be involved with Cohort 4, and I was so honoured to be invited to be their patron.
It's just a real community and a family, and something that's always going to be there for you.
Cohort 4 does so much as an organisation already. There's so much more that we could do, there's so much more that we want to do. So with your support, we can help deliver our services to even more people in need across the North Warwickshire area.
Cohort 4 is a huge success story. We save lives in North Warwickshire. Our group members are fantastic. Come and join us and help us to help other community members in North Warwickshire. Thank you.